Hey everyone, my name is Penny Zanker, and it's time to reset. This podcast goes beyond just navigating change. It's about new ways of thinking about how you can approach challenges, how you can shift your mindset when needed, create some space and grace for yourself so that you can rethink, recharge, and reprioritize when and where needed. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Thank you for hitting play and sharing this next episode with me. It's time to reset. Hello and welcome to Take Back Time. My name is Penny Zanker and I'm your host. And on this show, we're always looking for interesting people who are going to bring unique tips so that you might just think a little bit differently, and that might just help you to show up differently and work smarter. And that's the whole point. Work and live smarter. So I'm excited today to have Dr. Michael Matucci with me. He is a human breakthrough artist, and we're going to hear more about that. He's gone down the rabbit hole as both a student and a teacher of a plethora of self-development modalities, so you don't have to. And he is an accomplished performer and storyteller. And he is going to tell us more about his academy. He and his team have a transformational company called Encompass Life, and they share their quantum leap technique to help people lift themselves out of their challenges and to create their own miracles. So let's hear more about that. Welcome. Can I call you Michael?
You may.
Mike, or what do you like?
Whatever floats your boat, whatever sounds great to you. I love to connect to people, and I love to show them their power, like people showed me my power, came to my awareness. When I was growing up, we moved around a bunch when I was a kid, and we ended up going to a place where the kids were pretty vicious, and I was just a doe, as they say, and like, what's going on here? And I have a very high level of sensitivity, and I went through 4 really intense years and really 8 years of a lot of bullying and a lot of isolation and betrayal from people who were my friends. And it was quite impactful as a young kid growing up. And what that did was, later I found out, it created this kind of program or pattern or desire in my subconscious beyond my awareness to become almost superhuman, because that would enable me to not get made fun of. I didn't realize that till later, but that's what drove me to live in many countries around the world, learn languages and arts and martial arts and Eastern practices and Western practices. And then it also imbued me with a sensitivity and a compassion or as empathy for those who have struggled, who have been in vulnerable places, who have been on the underside of people's feet. And so I take these two things and I do what I can to provide the space to lift them up and help you break through, because there's a lot going on in our world, a lot to contend with, business and our country and everything else. And, some of us who have had the chance to do different things are happy to lift each other up. We're one big family here. And I love to be able to spark a little change in somebody's life.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, right? There's no better feeling than making a difference in supporting somebody getting what they want in their life, or, reaching a new level of heightened awareness or experience or things like that. So are you saying you have this technique? And so is that derived from your own personal experience? Like, a lot of people, they have this breakthrough and it takes them years, right? People don't realize it takes you years to simplify something and unwind it and figure out, well, what did you actually do? And how did this work? And how do you bring that to other people in a very conscious and intentional way? So did this come from your own experience?
I would say that many aspects, what we're doing is taking ancient wisdom, scripture, things that have been around for a while, spiritual laws, and actually making them practical and simple. So it's other than inventing anything as far as the knowledge is concerned. What's going on with what we're using the quantum leap technique is to make it a system you can use. We use with people at the beginning as we're going through our experiences, and then we're giving it away so people can do it inside of themselves to actually be the catalysts to their own change. So yes, it is a lot of broad wisdom synthesized and catalyzed into a way that anybody can use it. You don't have to have done a lot of personal development. You just require to be open and have an inner commitment to make a shift in your life, in the life of your family, the life of your employees, your company, your community. And so it is design is by far the fastest way to spark change, being able to shift people's lives in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. That isn't a permanent, it is a permanent change. We are also a huge bunch of stuff inside of us, and we can continue to upgrade. So people then continue on to get the next thing. They get a miracle and like, wow, this is great. Hey, guess what? There's a lot more of this happening. It's simply the most condensed, simplified process to do it. And it draws from a lot of different stuff from the past for sure.
Okay, great. So, I want to come back to the word breakthrough, right? And you use the word miracles. So a bunch of people are like, okay, what are you talking about, right? So I think that it's important to define. I have a specific definition of what a breakthrough is. So I'm just curious. I don't want to share mine until I hear yours. What's your definition of a breakthrough or a miracle?
Those are obviously commonly used words and used in a variety of ways. So thanks for that question. When it comes to the types of there's many types of breakthroughs. The breakthroughs that interest me are the ones that people don't think are possible. The people that they typically in our world, we consider miracles, somebody breaking an addiction to alcohol and tobacco after 20 years in 1 week. Someone who has a autoimmune disorder or issue and she's been going at it for 10 years. In one session, 90% of her symptoms go away. Someone who couldn't read because his cognitive decline was so steep and had been happening for so many years, he couldn't buckle his belt. In a few weeks, he's dressing himself, he's reading books on brain trauma, and he's repaired the relationship with his daughter that had been estranged for 8 years due to the inability to really handle this in the family. So breakthroughs, or even getting 2x, 10x your yearly revenue in a very short amount of time, breaking through the glass ceiling of what you perceive to be possible in your industry or what resources you have. And how do we really do this is it isn't separate strategies for all these different types of things. That's what most people do. They work from the outside in. So I got the strategy for this, the experience for that, the advice for this. What we're doing is we're going straight to the core. And this might sound a little strange to some people, but what happens inside of you is being broadcast all around you. It's like if you were to say, I have stress, and then you see stress show up in your kids or your spouse, they are reflecting you. And now that reflection is more obvious in some cases, but that's happening all the time. All the time. It's just part of our universe. And so when we make shifts at this deep, deep level inside of us, it's going to show up in and around us in any aspect of life. It doesn't matter if we're talking about health, business, family, relationships, because it's all basically happening inside of me first and then reflect on the outside. So we go within and that's how we do it.
So yeah, I totally, I believe also, we have to do the inner work and there's a reflection there. I want to come back to my definition of breakthrough, because I think there's those big breakthroughs, which is what I wrote down. I heard your definition is kind of to break through the perception of what limits you, so to speak, right? But all those things that you mentioned are big things. And I believe big things are possible in a short period of time. I also have taken a number of different incredible courses and methods that I've seen it's possible. So I'm a believer. I also think that a breakthrough can be a very simple little distinction that can make a huge impact. So a breakthrough doesn't have to be, breaking a 20-year addiction, or even the thing that allows you to do that might be just a small distinction difference that shifts everything inside. But I think I want to kind of bring it down for people also who are skeptical that, breakthroughs can happen easily, and they can just be small distinctions as well.
I completely agree. There's so many little things that can happen in our lives that can be massive victories. It's Einstein, I believe, that said, all of life is a miracle and none of it's a miracle, and you get to choose. So little miracles, like I used to do this on the opposite end. As I grew in my journey, and allowed my love and joy to come through on a regular basis, and stop reserving it just for special people, started sharing with people on the street. I remember going back to New York. I hadn't been there in a while. And I said, I'm going to bring this to the people on the street. I'm going to see what happens in this rough place and see if people will smile back. And I didn't think I'd have that much success. It was surprisingly the opposite. People who probably hadn't smiled all day, now smiling at some stranger on the street that they're normally so guarded against. And so that's even a little beautiful breakthrough for somebody you may not think it's for you, or maybe it is for me because I was nervous. I'm like, they're going to look at me on the street. I'm going to be smiling like, who is this guy? What does he want? but that might be the most genuine interaction that somebody might have all week. And for them, that's a breakthrough. So I agree with you. I think it's so important to move beyond just the numbers and the value. And this is so big and it has to be movie-like quality, and recognize that maybe it's a breakthrough that you have been when you argue, when someone argues with their spouse, and it takes hours to kind of calm the waters or days to calm the waters in some cases, that you can actually, in a few minutes, laugh through the disagreement and then find something of value to build upon in your relationship. That's a major breakthrough as well.
Absolutely.
And so I agree. And then when we look at life like that, oh my gosh, every day can be a new jumping off point to something new in your life. So I thank you for making that clarity, because I agree with you and I love that.
Yeah, because I know that everybody's in a different place, and you know, we do live in such a more skeptical world today than than I think that we ever have. So I want to bring that down to earth for people who are like, well, I don't have anything like that. So there can be
Right.
there's breakthroughs available for all of us every day if we're looking for them.
Oh yeah, it's sometimes it's not so tangible. Like for me, in doing this work in the first years, I became able to see the distinct pattern that I had in my relationship life and how I was moving away from and like subconsciously almost running away from the challenge, or just coming back, rescinding my energy, because I thought, well, she doesn't like me, or she doesn't want to talk about this, or she's put the line here. And I was able to, through my mentor, start seeing, oh my gosh, that's me. I'm the one pulling back. I could do something different. Why do I require her to, be perfect and set all these clear boundaries? I can be the one to just be in love, stand as divine love. And me, it was first A, seeing my own limiting pattern, but then B, being able to be in any storm, to be okay with somebody, a partner, having a day, having a scream, having a cry, maybe running away for a little while, and just be as a steady man of love. And for me, there's nothing physical to show there, but for me, that was one of the biggest breakthroughs I've ever had, going from doing love to being love. Vastly changed the landscape in all relationships for me, and my ability to be here and now for whoever I'm with whatever they're going through.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine, for those of you who are listening, just imagine what kind of shift that could have in your life, going from anything from doing to being. Like, I think love is a great example, but there's the act of doing gratitude, or doing, various different things. Even, I don't know, right now I'm having a brain absence, but it strikes me, right? That's an important gap of what is our state of being? How do we show up makes all the difference into the results that we get around us. So one of the things that I want to get your feedback and your thoughts on, when I said breakthroughs are available, every day, and you're talking about recognizing in a relationship, and being able to turn it over, I call these opportunities for breakthroughs, in a way, these smaller breakthroughs, as reset moments that, it requires us to be present, to be more intentional, to rethink something, and just to create some space for that opportunity.
Yes, that's such a good.
So I call those reset moments, but not just for emotional breakthroughs, let's call them, but also just for focus, to be focused on what matters most. And to, if it's in business or it's in the way we communicate with one another, to be more present and empathetic to the person that we're speaking with and understanding. I know it's a new concept for you, but I'm just curious, so how does that strike you with the work that you do and the research that you do and the people that you work with? What does a reset moment mean to you?
Well, I love that, because I study a lot of quantum physics, and there's a lot of evidence to suggest that we're in a sort of simulation, a sort of video game, if you will. I mean, it's a nice analogy I like. Exactly. And I was so concerned about how everybody thought of me and what I did in the past. And oh my gosh, I said this, I didn't say that, I should have done this, or this could have been better. And I realize now that most people don't really remember much. And the half of what they remember is actually incorrect. And so you can actually hit the reset button, so to speak, on the video game of your life and just wash all that away. Yeah. You can just hit it, boom, and it's just like starting that level. I'm back on level 22. I'm back on level 155, whatever it happens to be, and you just do it. And it literally will be like that. for you. And I love the analogy because it's such a clear clearing of the slate. And when you actually see the statistics on what people are going to retain, just think about even somebody that let's say somebody you know marginally well, you knew a few years ago, or even now. How much do you really remember about them in this very moment? Not so much.
Totally.
So what's the point of being upset or worried, or did I mess this up, or did I miss this opportunity? Just hit the reset button, start fresh, and just go at it with the energy that you choose to in that moment. And that is what the new reality that you're going to see and the new way you're going to take on the next level of your life.
Yeah. Right. I love that. It's clearing. That's one of the ideas of it, right? Is that instead of allowing the stress to compound and these worries and these, that we're constantly growing and learning, and we're different today than we were yesterday. And we're different this morning than we are, this evening. So taking those conscious moments to say, okay, what did I learn today? Or how could I be more grateful in this moment? Or how can I be more present if that's what it calls for, right? What does it call for? And if we just take a few more of those throughout the day, then like a little time out for ourselves and reset. We can also practice letting go, which we're not very good at. So that would give us an opportunity to, kind of like meditation, but in a different way, right?
Mm-hmm. And you can also, as I discovered, and others share, is actually revisit those stuck moments. So if one of the biggest things about the breakthroughs that is, I believe, is somewhat unique to what we're doing, or maybe the way we're doing it is totally unique, but it is actually how you feel about a certain circumstance that's keeping it stuck in your consciousness or stuck in a loop. You can actually go to that circumstance and change the way you feel about it. Okay, I messed up this relationship or this business deal, or I said this comment, I really wish I said that. You can go back and revisit that in the inside of you when you feel that charge, or dang it, or whatever that thing is for you inside, a bit of grief, a bit of anger. And you go back and relive that circumstance and you painting your new picture. Like you are the designer of that level of video game. You get to go back and say, I'm just going to re-experience this. I'm going to visualize it like I would have liked it to go. And you can move that energy. And when you move that energy, that is a form of then creating liberation inside of yourself and allowing it, the flow to return. While you're still holding on to anything, especially for specific emotions, which are shame, which can be like embarrassment, right? Mm-hmm. Blame, you're looking at somebody else, they did this, didn't do that. Guilt and hate is a whole cornucopia of different dislikes and criticisms and complaints. If you're holding on to any of that, you are holding that stuff stuck. You're holding yourself stuck. So being able to revisit that and then come and see what really happened, reimagine it, shift it, and actually learn from it, and then move it on, and then you then liberate yourself and allow yourself to create your own breakthroughs.
Yeah, I believe that once we get that lesson and we learn from it, that's what enables us to let it go. So I think it's an important part of it, of that discovery and that breakthrough, is what we're learning so that we can let go.
When you've reached a level of gratitude, you've got the lesson, you see the lesson, it's the gift. Oh my gosh, this is an amazing lesson. And you're fully seeing that, and you're feeling the gratitude for that. The rest of the stuff's going to go away. Forgiveness is easy. Other stuff going away is easy. It's a matter of exactly finding the lesson and then seeing all aspects of it to the point where it's, oh, right, that's what's going on there. The rest just like, it's like a disintegrating cord that was holding you back before. Now it's gone because you're fully in the seeing of the blessing of what that was.
So let me ask you one last thing, because then we're running out of time. So let's say somebody is just a day-to-day, they're struggling with competing priorities. They just are both overloaded and overwhelmed at the same time, and they're feeling stuck as a result of that. So like maybe it's not like a major relationship problem or something like that, just accumulated stress. And I know that there's always something deeper, but I'm just saying, for people what is something practical that they could put into practice, right now that would be supportive for them? So like an example of something that you might do, and then we can share with them where they can find out more information about you.
The key is to find out what it's for, whatever that is. If it's just a little bit of bickering, if it's your kid not behaving, it doesn't have, like you said, it can be something small. With this idea of people free of problems, that's like a social media mirage. Everybody's got stuff going on. And if you just wipe past it And then you think, oh, I'm just going to endure it. That keeps it going. So just take that little thing, take one little thing, take multiple, just find out all the things. Ask yourself, what do I not like right now? That's one thing. What are the other things? And then go back and start to look at what they could be serving you. If it was intentional, if it was like that person was a sort of unwitting personal trainer for your life, and they were showing you something in a prickly way, what could that be? And find what the purpose it serves. And then connect to that lesson, connect to that, or dive into it, whatever it may be deeper. So it may require some time. Maybe it's something simple, like you're recognizing that it's time to speak up in a certain way. So everyone's showing you something. When you see life as a blessing, including and especially the most prickly things, then you are opening the pathway to opening your intuition, opening your vision, opening yourself to the gifts that are here, and stepping in the direction of where you choose to go. That's got to be one of the top things. And those things that come up again, it's not like those go away. You clear the slate, and it's like, well, what is this guy? I'm a guy of love now. Why is this person acting this way? Because it's the next lesson. Right. Start playing. Then you start playing the game. When you get this regularly, which is why we do extensive journeys, because we have like a workshop laboratory, because stuff keeps coming up. And then we handle it together instead of say, here's the advice, go home. It's you working through it until you can do it by yourself. And you can with that. And it's faster with the assistance, obviously, which is why we do what we do.
So how do people get a hold of you? Where can they find out about your academy and this breakthrough system?
Yes, they can go to Encompass, ENCOMPASS, life.com/breakthrough. On /breakthrough, I have a free PDF for folks that specifically deals with getting unique success and what's stopping your success that you don't know about. And also, if you'd like to book an appointment with me, a short appointment to discuss how this could be useful for you, your business, or what have you, happy to have a chat with you. And there's a little scheduler on that page as well. If you choose, you can look at other pages on our website. We've got a lot of free content. We're here to serve, a lot of resources. And ultimately, our goal is to lift up leaders, to lift up those who lift up other people, healers, coaches, people who care about people, to give you the chance to get out of the stress and the worry of handling all these folks and do all the things and lift yourself up. And then in so doing, you'll automatically lift up your people that much more.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for being here. You deserve a breakthrough. And breakthroughs are there every single day. You just need to, in my language, just need to take those reset moments to pause, to think through, what is this situation teaching me? What can I learn from this? How can I apply it? Where can I use this moving forward? And we talked about so many interesting things, but that's sort of my summary and my language. And I think the other thing to just highlight is that it is a state of being that will change the way that we interact with the world, whether it's your kids, whether it's your parents, whether it is how you show up at work. Our energy is contagious. And so we need to do the work and really check in and do those insights for ourselves so that we can see the change that we want to see in the world. What's that? There's that quote, right? That be the change you want to see in the world kind of thing. So anyway, you guys are here. Take those moments. Take a moment right now. Take a moment right now to reflect on what you're grateful for and what's one lesson, if you thought about it, with a frustration or an aggravation that you had today that you could take away that would make you a better person and create maybe a new action, a new way of behaving. Go ahead and take that reflection. Give yourself that gift. My name is Penny Zinker, and this is Take Back Time. We'll see you in the next episode. Hey, thank you for spending this time with me. It really means a lot. If you're feeling a little off, distracted, overwhelmed, stuck, or just out of sync, remember that's your signal to reset. And that's all it takes, just recognizing one reset moment at a time. So stay tuned for more tips, tools, tricks, stories, strategies, all here on Time to Reset. We'll see you in the next episode.